Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a review and tutorial of the Juvia's Place Magic Palette. I'm going to be doing this look here and also giving you my thoughts on if this palette is worth your money or not. This is the fifth palette in my review series. This is the fifth palette in my review series of Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes. I did a Juvia's Place haul where I hauled 5 eyeshadow palettes, and this is the last palette in my review series. So if this is your first time here, because you were curious about which Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette to purchase, I'd recommend checking out some of my other review videos on some of the other palettes as well. I'll have one of them listed up here, and then also the other ones listed in the description box below for your convenience. But anyways guys, if you want to see my tutorial on this eyeshadow look using the Juvia's Place Magic Palette and also a review on it, just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put on some eyeshadow primer. I'm just going to use my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. I'm just going to put that all over the lid. Okay, so eyeshadow primer's on, and I've used this palette a couple times before, and there is quite a bit of fallout. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me powder, and I have it in the shade Fair Light. I'm just going to take some of it with my beauty blender here and put a little powder under my eye to catch any of that fallout. Beautiful! Okay. Just gonna leave that powder out and ready in case I need a bit more. So with this palette, you can tell I've used it a few times. So I'm going to go fairly neutral today. I'm going to use the red, which is called Kogi. Probably going to use the shade Kessie, Zakaya, and Nana, and then I'll probably pick a shimmer shade. So we'll decide once I get to that point. So I have my primer on now. I'm not going to set it just because I want these shadows to really grip on. And I'm actually going to go in with this still brush. I got it at Walmart, Still Spa Essentials. And it is the eyeshadow blender brush number 6. And I'm going to grab this shade here, Kogi, the red. And I'll pick some of that up. Now it's really pigmented and it has a lot of fallout like I mentioned, so just if you're doing this look, be careful with it. I'm just going to place it on the outer corner of my eye here up towards the tail of the brow. It's a beautiful red though, like look at that. It's probably my favorite shade in this whole palette. I like that shade Kessie too though. I found that it is a exact match to my skin tone, which is nice to have a shade like that. Like look at how pigmented that is. It's like almost just pure pigment. But you can see the fallout there. Alright, and I'm just going to be using my color switch if I'm using the same brush for anything, and just to clean them off in between. Like, yeah, see, it just stained my brush. And then I'm going to pick up some of the shade here, Zakaya, with the same brush. This one doesn't seem to have as much kickback in the pan. Just place that right at the edge of Zakaya there, of Kogi there, sorry. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up my Sigma E55. It's an eye shading brush. And I am going to pick up that shade Kessie, that one that I said is exactly the same as my skin tone. And I'm going to pack that on the lid. Then I'm going to take this flat shader brush. It's just a e.l.f. Professional eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to pick up this shade here, Nana, on the tip of the brush. I'm going to run that in my crease. Then I'm going to grab a e.l.f. crease brush and some more of that shade Nana just to blend out the crease. And I'm trying to go above where I did the hard line just to diffuse and build a bit. I'm picking up that still brush again and some of that shade Zakaya. I'm just going to put it where the shade Kessie and Kogi meet again, just to once again diffuse and blend. And I'm going to grab a Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, some of that shade Kessie, not too much. Start it off under the brow. And maybe I should kick some of that off first. There's a bit of fallout there, I don't want to blend it in. I'm going to grab a bit more powder. I'm going to put some of Kessie here too, just to make that edge sharper. And then I'm going to blend to diffuse a little bit. I'm going to grab a bit more of Kogi just to make sure it stays vibrant. Now I'm trying to decide what color to put on the lower lash line. So I could go fairly boring and I could just do one of the three. Or I could make it kind of look a little bit more like a sunset over the ocean type of deal with some of the darker shades on the lower lash line. But I kind of want to keep the focus up top. What to do. See, that's what I've been finding with this palette is there are a lot of really cool colors in it, but I find that I'm feeling limited. Like I don't really want to use these darker colors too much because they stain and there's a lot of shimmers. So I find myself limited, and then I'm getting inspired and I'm creating a look and then I get stuck on what I'm going to do next. And I always will lean towards either these darker colors or these mattes, and the shimmers I usually would just use as an accent. So it's hard for me to decide what to do on the lower lash line. I'm just going to keep it simple just for the purposes of this video, and I'm going to use Zakaya and Nana on the lower lash line. Let's just do that. So I'm going to pick up my Sigma E55 again and some of Nana. And run that along the lower lash line. Now I'm just grabbing some Zakaya and putting it on the outer corner of the lower lash line. Yeah, that still looks nice. And then for inner corner, I'm going to pick up ColourPop pencil brush. And this color here, Bornu. I think that's how you say it. Maybe it's a little too bronze. I'm also going to put some of Nubia. It's beautiful gold. All these shades, all these colors are really beautiful. See how dark that is? I don't like that. I'm going to put a bit of Kessie over top just to tone it down a bit. Alright, so I'm going to dust this powder off now. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Rimmel Eyes, my Rimmel Scandalized eyeliner in, I believe it's the shade Nude. It's all rubbed off. Yeah, and I'm just going to put that in my lower waterline. And then Rimmel Scandalized in the shade Brown. And I'm going to run that on the upper lash line. And then I'm going to curl my lashes using my Tweezerman lash curler. And then I'm going to use my little sample of the Benefit Gal Bang mascara. I still really like it. Alright, and here's the finished eye look. So if you could tell that it was very quick for me to do this eye look. It didn't really take any time at all. You know, it's just with this palette I did notice that once you place the color, you can't do too much blending or it starts to blend away and then you have to build it up again. But that's typical for a lot of shadows, so I'm not really gonna make the palette lose points for that or the shadows lose points for that. Like I said, they do have a lot of fallout, and you've probably seen they have a lot of fallout and kickback in the pan, but that's what you get when you have shadows that have a lot of pigment in most cases. So once again, doesn't lose points for that at all, and according to me, it's fine. If putting powder on your face like that isn't your typical gig, you could always do your eyeshadow first. Or pick up a lot less shadow than I do. I am quite heavy-handed, so that could be it as well. All in all, I do like this palette. Out of my Juvia's Place palette haul, I'll have my haul video listed up here for you. This is the last palette I'm reviewing in that haul. This is my least favorite, and it took me a little bit longer to get this video up because I really had to, I tried to film a look and I had a really hard time with it. And I really just needed to play with this palette to see the look that I could create that I actually liked. And I'm glad that I did play with this one a little bit longer, because even though it is my least favorite, I still do like it. I still can make it a pretty decent eye look. I like this eye look out of this palette. I do like these other shades down here. Like, I'll just give you guys a swatch. I'm going to have a swatch video of all the palettes that I have coming up, but like, they're just absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So for me, this is more of an accent palette. You know, this is a palette where I would use other shades from some of the other Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes or other eyeshadow palettes in general that I have, and I would purposely pull one of these colors into the look, and that would be the shining star of the look. You know, like you could have this shade here, Faso, or the shade Zubia or Nubia, any of these colors really all over the lid, and then just have some brown transition colors and things like that, and it would be stunning. But can this palette hold its own? Would you be happy just using this palette for a week straight to make your eye looks? Unless you wanted to do the same look every day, or you're comfortable with having your lids stained all the time. I'm not sure about that. Picking up any of the Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes, if you were looking for a palette to get a complete eye look out of, and different ones consistently, this would be a palette that I would not recommend. But if you like the colors in here, if you're okay with pulling in another palette or a couple single eyeshadows to get a really creative, really cool look, this would be for you. It's not bad quality by any means. The price is right. I really do like it. So now that I've reviewed every single palette that I got from the haul, I am going to be depotting them. At first I was like, should I? And then some of the palettes have different size pans, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't, and I should just keep them by themselves. But I really do think that these palettes working in conjunction with each other would be really nice. So if I were to depot them all and put them all in their own C palette together, I think I could come up with some really, really cool looks using them. So all in all, I do like this palette. It will be nice to use with some of the other Juvia's Place palettes that I do have, but it's not one that I'd be running to the hills for, or it's not one that I would be recommending to people if they asked me which palettes to get from Juvia's Place. So hopefully that helped you make a decision if you were looking at buying the Juvia's Place Magic palette. If you would like to see me do any other looks with it, or use some of the shades from this palette with some other Juvia's Place palettes, sorry about that. I'd be happy to do that for you. But if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, please follow me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram handle right here. It's just @Paige Mifflin. And also, please subscribe to my channel so we can continue on this makeup loving journey together. Until next time, guys. Bye.